You, this old woman, if you stand up from here without my permission, I will deal with you.
The story begins on a quiet Saturday morning in a small Nigerian town. Birds were singing softly, and the sunrise touched the rooftops slowly, like it had no intention to disturb anybody. Inside a small yellow house, Mama Uzo sat on a wooden chair, folding her wrapper calmly. She had lived in that house for more than 30 years. She raised her only son, Uzo, there. Every day, she prayed for him to marry a woman who would love her like her own mother. So when Uzo finally brought a beautiful young woman named Ada home, Mama Uzo smiled and thanked God. Ada was charming. Ada was polite. Ada greeted her like royalty. She cooked for her. She massaged her legs. She even washed her clothes. Everyone in the compound kept saying, Uzo is lucky. His wife is an angel. But only Mama Uzo knew the painful truth. Ada was only an angel when Uzo was around. The moment Uzo stepped out of the house, the moment his car engine faded from the compound, Ada's smile vanished. Her voice changed. Her face hardened like metal. She shouted at Mama Uzo. She insulted her. She pushed her to the house chores. Sometimes, she even hid food for Mama Uzo, who would then go hungry to bed. "Old woman, move faster," Ada would snap. "You think you came here to enjoy? Not in my marriage." Mama Uzo suffered quietly. She didn't want to cause trouble. She didn't want to spoil her son's marriage. So every time Uzo came back from work, she forced herself to smile. "Mommy, are you okay?" he always asks. "I'm fine, my son," she always replied. But she wasn't fine. She was slowly breaking inside. One afternoon, Uzo told them he would be traveling for a 2-day work trip. Ada's eyes sparkled with hidden excitement. But she acted sad in front of him. "Oh, baby, I'll miss you," she said sweetly. But the moment he left the next morning, Ada locked the door and turned around slowly. Her sweet face disappeared. In its place stood a cold, wicked woman. "Your protector has traveled," Ada said. "So now, you will learn." Mama Uzo swallowed, already knowing she was in trouble. Ada threw her back on the chair and kicked Mama Uzo's slippers out of the way. "Go to the kitchen and wash everything. Cook for me. And don't make noise." Mama Uzo walked quietly to the kitchen. Her heart heavy. She wished she could cry, but tears refused to come. She was washing plates when Ada suddenly shouted, "Old man, come here." Mama Uzo rushed to the sitting room. "Kneel down," Ada commanded. Mama Uzo froze. "I said kneel down." Slowly she knelt. Ada brought out her phone. She opened her camera. She started recording. "Raise your hand," Ada ordered. Mama Uzo lifted her hands weakly. "Now say, I am a witch." Mama Uzo's eyes widened in pain and confusion. "Ada, why?" she whispered. "Shut up and say it." A tear dropped from Mama Uzo's eye as she whispered the humiliating words, I am a witch." Ada smiled, saved the video, and leaned close to her ear. "If you tell my husband anything, I will post this video everywhere. Your life will scatter." She walked away laughing, while Mama Uzo cried silently on her knees. Evening 4. Silence filled the whole house. Mama Uzo was still in the kitchen when someone knocked on the door. Ada frowned. She wasn't expecting anybody. She walked to the door slowly, wiped her face, and opened it. The moment she saw who was standing there, her smile disappeared. Her legs trembled, her eyes widened in fear, because the person at the door was someone she never expected to return. Someone who should not even be there. Someone who had heard everything. Ada's breath caught in her throat. Her hands shook. Her fake smile froze halfway, because standing at the door was Mama Uzo's younger sister, Auntie Nkem, a woman who didn't fear anybody, a woman who talked straight, a woman who loved her sister deeply. Auntie Nkem had traveled from the village that morning. She wanted to surprise her sister. She wanted to spend a few days with her. But instead, she walked into a house filled with cold silence and fear. Ada, she said quietly, is my sister home? Ada swallowed hard. Her voice cracked. Ah, yes, she is. Come in, ma. Auntie Nkem stepped into the sitting room. Her eyes scanned the place like someone reading a story written on the wall. Where is she? She asked. In the kitchen, Ada stammered. Auntie Nkem walked to the kitchen without waiting for permission. And there she found Mama Uzo standing by the sink, her eyes swollen, her shoulders shaking lightly. Sister, what is it? Auntie Nkem asked. Mama Uzo turned away quickly. She wiped her tears with the edge of her wrapper. Nothing, she whispered. I am okay. Auntie Nkem stepped closer and held her shoulders. Don't lie to me, she said softly. I know when you are in pain. What's happened? Before Mama Uzo could talk, Ada walked into the kitchen with a false smile. Auntie, no need to worry, Ada said sweetly. Mama is just tired. She worked too much today. Auntie Nkem slowly turned to her. Her eyes were sharp. Worked too much? Did you tell her to work? Ada laughed a small nervous laugh. Auntie, no, she insisted. She said she wanted to help. That was the moment Auntie Nkem noticed something. A small red mark on Mama Uzo's arm, like someone had grabbed her roughly. Her heart tightened. She looked at Ada again. This time, she wasn't smiling. Let me ask you, Auntie Nkem said quietly. When my sister is alone with you, do you treat her well? Ada's throat moved. Oh, of course, Auntie. I treat her like my own mother. Auntie Nkem didn't argue. She only nodded slowly. Then she turned back to Mama Uzo. Sister, go and rest, she said softly. I will finish the kitchen work. Before leaving the kitchen, she whispered into Mama Uzo's ear. I saw the tear on your face. Tonight, you will tell me the truth. Later that night, Ada stayed in her room pretending to watch a movie. But her ears were sharp like a cat's. She wanted to hear what the two sisters would say. In the sitting room, Auntie Nkem sat beside Mama Uzo. Sister, tell me everything, she said. Please don't hide anything. Mama Uzo tried to resist at first. She didn't want trouble. She didn't want her son to be hurt. She didn't want to scatter the marriage. But the pain in her chest was too heavy. The fear was too much. The silent suffering had become too long. So slowly, shakingly, she began to talk. She told her sister everything. How Ada changed the moment Uzo wasn't around. How Ada shouted at her. How Ada insulted her. How Ada sometimes denied her food. How Ada forced her to kneel. How Ada recorded her saying terrible things. How Ada threatened her with the video. Auntie Nkem's chest began to rise and fall like a storm building inside her. Her eyes became wet and anger and tears. That useless girl, she hissed softly. She did all this to you? In your son's house? Mama Uzo wiped her tears. Please, don't tell Uzo, she begged. I don't want to break his home. Auntie Nkem shook her head. Sister, this is wickedness. This girl is dangerous. She is not a wife. She's a problem waiting to explode. They both went quiet. The house was silent. Only the tickling wall clock made noise. Suddenly, a loud sound echoed from the corridor. A door slammed. Footsteps rushed forward. Ada appeared in front of them. Her eyes were red. Her face was twisted in rage. Her lips were shaking. So she had been listening. She had heard everything. She pointed at the two sisters with trembling anger. So this is what both of you are doing behind my back, she shouted. You all want to destroy my marriage? You want to turn my husband against me? She stepped closer. Her voice cracked louder. I will not allow it. Do you hear me? I will not. But she suddenly stopped talking. Her eyes stretched. Her mouth opened slightly because behind the two sisters, the front door opened slowly. A familiar figure stepped into the sitting room. The person stood and stared at them quietly. It was someone who left the house earlier that morning. It was someone who was not supposed to be back. It was Uzo. When Uzo stepped into the sitting room that night, the whole house went silent. No one moved. No one breathed. Even the wall clock sounded louder than usual. He dropped his small travel bag by the door and looked at all the three women. His eyes moved slowly from his mother to his auntie, then to his wife, who was trembling. Ada, he said quietly. I forgot my laptop charger. I came back to pick it. Ada swallowed hard. A thin line of sweat rolled down her forehead. She tried to smile, but her lips shook. My love, welcome, she whispered. But Uzo didn't answer her. He looked at his mother again. Her eyes were red. Her hands were shaking. He stared at Auntie Nkem. She looked angry, but also worried. What is going on here? Uzo asked softly. Ada rushed to him and held his arm immediately. Baby, thank God you came. Your mother and auntie want to destroy our marriage. They were saying terrible things about me. Enough, Uzo said quietly, removing his arm. Ada froze. He walked past her and faced his mother. Mommy, he said gently, tell me the truth. Why are your eyes swollen? Mama Uzo's lips trembled. She looked down at her hands. She didn't want to speak. She didn't want to cause trouble. But the truth was sitting heavily inside her chest. Auntie Nkem placed a hand on her shoulder. Sister, talk. Today you must talk. But before Mama Uzo could open her mouth, Ada shouted angrily, don't listen to them, Uzo. They want to turn you against me because I am not from their tribe. Ada! Uzo raised his voice for the first time. Ada jumped back. She had never seen him shout like that. Let my mother talk, Uzo said firmly. The room went silent again. Mama Uzo finally lifted her head. Her eyes met her son's eyes. Those same eyes she raised from childhood. Eyes that had always trusted her. Her voice cracked and she spoke. My son, your wife treats me badly. When you are not around. Ada gasped loudly. That is a lie. But Uzo raised his hand to silence her. Mama Uzo continued. She shouts at me. She insults me. She forces me to do things. Sometimes she hides food from me. Uzo blinked slowly. His jaw tightened. He didn't interrupt. Tears rolled down Mama Uzo's cheeks. Today, she made me kneel on the floor. She recorded me. She forced me to say I am a witch. Auntie Nkem added quietly. She threatened to post the video if your mother ever told you the truth. Ada's whole body shook. That is not true. They are lying. They want to scatter my marriage, she shouted. But Uzo didn't look at her. He was looking at something else. He was looking at her handbag because something inside the handbag was glowing slightly. A phone screen. Ada's phone. He walked to the back slowly. Ada ran after him. No, 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 don't stop, touch my back, don't touch. But he already did. He opened her phone, opened her gallery, and there he was. He saw it. The video. The video of Mama kneeling, hands raised, voice shaking. I am a witch. The video slipped from Uzo's hand. It fell to the floor with a soft sound. Ada covered her mouth, her legs weakened. Uzo stepped back slowly. His eyes were red. His chest moved up and down like someone trying not to break. So it is true, he whispered. Ada knelt on the floor immediately. Baby, baby, please listen. I was angry. I didn't mean it. I didn't. Enough, Uzo said angrily. His voice was calm, but that calmness was more dangerous than shouting. He looked at his mother with tears in his eyes. Mommy, I am sorry, he whispered. I am so sorry for everything you went through in my house. Mama Uzo cried harder. Uzo wiped his face. He turned to his auntie. Auntie, please take my mother with you tonight. Auntie Kim nodded. Uzo then faced Ada, the woman he thought was an angel. Pack your things. Ada shook her head in disbelief. Baby, please, please, you want to send me away? Just because of this small. It is not small, Uzo said. You insulted my mother, you abused her, you threatened her, you recorded her and humiliated her. You showed me who you are. Ada reached for him, crying, but Uzo moved back. Pack your things, he repeated. When I come back from dropping my mother off, I don't want to see you here. Ada broke down on the floor, crying and shaking. Uzo walked to his mother and aunts and held his mother gently and whispered, you will never suffer again. Not in this house, not in my presence, not because of anyone. They both left the house together. Ada remained on the floor alone. Her cries echoed inside the empty room. And that night, for the first time since she married Uzo, she realized that wickedness always returned home like a shadow. And this time, it returned to her doorstep. The end. Thanks for watching my story. If you do enjoy my story, do not forget to like, comment, and share. And also subscribe to my channel. See you in my next story. Bye for now.